Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing good. So in today's video, basically we will be discussing about an important decision that all the aspiring biomedical engineers have to make at one point in their careers, right? So basically what we are going to discuss today is whether you should be doing masters immediately once you are done with your bachelor's or B.Tech, or you should gain some work experience for a year or so and then you can maybe pursue or think about masters. So I will be discussing the pros and cons of both the options. What are the pros and cons if you are planning to immediately pursue masters after you're done with your bachelor's, and also the other option wherein we will be seeing the pros and cons if at all you are planning to gain some work experience and then maybe think of doing masters. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Okay, I believe you can see the screen right now. As I said, what we will be discussing is basically what to do after B.Tech or after your bachelor's. In that case, whether you should consider pursuing masters immediately or you should consider working in an organization for a year or so and then maybe thinking and taking a decision whether to pursue masters or not. What we will be covering in this video is basically four things, right? What are the pros and cons of pursuing masters immediately, and what are the pros and cons of pursuing masters after gaining some work experience in the industry. So these are the four things that we would be covering in this video in a more detailed manner. Now, starting off with the first section, right? What are the advantages you can expect, or what are the pros you can say that you can consider when thinking about pursuing masters immediately? The first thing is specialized knowledge. Now, I would highly recommend you that if you know what kind of specialization you want to pursue, let's say if you are interested in tissue engineering or if you are interested in biomechanics, biomaterial, if you know that what is the kind of specialization that you want to do, and then immediately if you are pursuing for higher studies, that is basically if you are immediately doing your masters once you're done with your bachelor's, in that case this kind of specialization will help you more marketable, more skilled and more competitive in the market, right? So pursuing masters immediately after your B.Tech will help you to get a specialized knowledge in the domain. The second point is career advancement. Right now, having a master's degree early can open up opportunities for higher level positions. Now, what I mean by this is, now let's say you are a fresher and you are applying for companies, you only have the B.Tech degree, and the kind of roles that you would be getting will be an entry level role. Let's say a service engineer or a field engineer or a biomedical trainee, or pretty much positions like these. But once you are done with your masters, the kind of opportunities that you can aim for can be little more higher. It can be mid senior levels, right? You can be aiming for an SDR role, which is sales development representative, or you can be a key accounts manager. So these kind of roles you can expect once you attain your master's degree, right? So the second point is the master's degree immediately after your B.Tech would help you to advance in your career at a faster pace. Now let's see the third point, right? The third point is basically research opportunities. So if you are someone who is planning to pursue or do research and development in the field of biomedical engineering, if you are really passionate about it, if you are planning to do PhD or postgraduate, all these things, then you should consider doing masters immediately, because that will open up a lot of research opportunities for you guys, because it acts as a foundation and it helps you to get more deeper into the concepts, and it helps you to gain more knowledge in the field of biomedical engineering, which eventually helps you to do better in the research sector or research and development sector. The last point, the last advantage is networking. Now once you are going for your masters, now most of the people that I have interacted with, they either go outside India, abroad, to do their higher studies. And when you go abroad for pursuing your masters, the kind of people you interact with, the kind of professors, the researchers and the fellow students with whom you work and network, they give you a lot of insights about industry, they give you a lot of insights about how the industry is evolving and pretty much things like that. But my opinion to this would be, instead of that, if you can consider networking with the working professionals who are there working in the industry, they would be able to give you a better idea as to what is happening in the industry, what are the things that, or what are the skills that you should be adapting to, what are the things that you should be learning and getting accustomed to. A lot of things that these industry professionals would be able to give you in a better way when you compare it to the professors or researchers who are maybe working from last 10, 15, 20 years in a university. Now, moving to the next thing, right? What are the cons of pursuing masters immediately, or what are the disadvantages of pursuing masters immediately? Limited work experience. Now, by jumping directly into a master's program, you might miss out on practical experience. Right now, let's understand this with an example. Right now, I am a fresher. I got to work for 1 year with one of the medical equipment companies, right? And I was working as a calibration engineer. Again, it's an entry level position, and I am getting hands-on experience, right? And when I'm getting hands-on experience, I actually understand how the machines or how the equipments are working, how to calibrate those equipments. But when you directly go for masters, as soon as you finish your bachelor's, you are going to do your masters, and again all the kind of learning that you tend to get is theoretical. And also, if you are getting practical knowledge, then that is with respect to the academic needs or requirements that you will have to anyways complete, right? But when you are working in the industry, you actually get the hands-on experience, working in the real-time situations, real-time scenarios, that eventually helps you to get more understanding and more exposure to maybe the knowledge of medical equipment and all these things, right? So one disadvantage would be you will be having a very limited work experience. You will not have that much hands-on experience when it comes to working with the equipments. Financial considerations. Now this will vary from people to people. Most of the students that I see, usually their parents are the one who are maybe financially affording the higher education for them. But according to me, I feel is, if you are doing your bachelor's with your parents' money, right? And if you are a working professional, you save up your money and then you want to go abroad, you take an educational loan, put in your savings, and then you consider doing that in your own money. So financial consideration is something that will vary from individual to individual. And again, if you're not financially prepared, taking a break to work can help you save money. As I said, can help you save up money for your education. So one more disadvantage is, as soon as you finish your bachelor's, you would have spent around 7 to 8 lakh or 10 lakh of rupees. Now again, investing, if you are planning to do it from abroad, again 15 to 20 to 25, 30 lakhs is going to be a financial burden for few of the individuals. So financial consideration is the second disadvantage that I would like to mention here. And the last one is uncertainty in career path. What I mean by this is basically, now as I said, when you are doing biomedical engineering, I have also covered this in my previous video. Now biomedical engineering is a very vast topic, right? There are a lot of subdomains that are there in the biomedical domain. There is tissue engineering, there is biomechanics, biomaterial, prosthetics, a lot of domains that you can work on. So when you have so many topics and specializations, if you don't know that what is the specialization that you like to do or you want to do. Now let's say what happens. Now I completed my bachelor. I'm explaining you with an example. Okay, I finished my bachelor's. I'm very uncertain as to what specialization really fascinates me. Okay, I apply for masters. I get into a college, and after my first year, or let's say after my first semester, I have to take a specialization. Now this specialization, they are giving me 3 options. It can be biomechanics, it can be tissue engineering, or it can be prosthetics, let's say. And I don't know what exactly I like, or what exactly is I am passionate about, what kind of specialization is I am passionate about. And let's say if I am taking tissue engineering, and from there, from my second semester till my fourth semester, I will be going in deep about tissue engineering. Agree with me? Once I finish my masters, when I'm looking for job opportunities, I will have to focus on my strong forte. What is my strong forte? It is tissue engineering. Why? Because I took that specialization, but I don't like doing it. Now eventually the kind of work that I am going to do, maybe I will get a job, but it is not something that I would enjoy doing. It is not something that would satisfy me. So because of all these things, I would say pursuing masters immediately can be little uncertain with respect to your career path that you would like to follow. So taking some time, working in the industry, understanding different domain, trying to figure out what kind of work actually you like doing, and accordingly pursuing your career or thinking about masters is a better thing to do from my point of view. Now again, there are a lot of people who would not agree to me, who will have different opinions, but I am just putting in my outlook towards the same, right? So what we have seen so far is, we have seen the advantages and disadvantages of pursuing masters immediately after you are done with your B.Tech, right, or your bachelor's. Now let's see the other option, right? Let's say you are planning to work before pursuing masters, then what are the advantages, right? Now, you would have understood the advantages by now, but let's go in little deeper. Practical experience. The first thing is, if you're working in the industry, as I said, for 1 to 2 years, you actually get the hands-on experience, right? You get to develop a lot of skills by doing things practically. Now, these experience can make you more competitive candidate when you're applying for jobs after your masters, right? Now, one more important point, or one more important thing that I would like to mention here is, now when you are pursuing masters immediately after your B.Tech, you finish your B.Tech, you finish your masters, your work experience remains zero. Just that you have qualification to aim for the higher job roles. Without any experience, when you are aiming for the mid-senior level positions, now when you see the job description of these positions, they would require at least minimum 2 to 3 years of experience. Now you would not have that experience, and very rarely I see people after doing their masters, they actually aim for mid-senior level and they get in to those positions. So what happens is, you have 0 years of experience. Even though you are applying for these job opportunities which are mid-senior level, you are not able to crack them because you don't have work experience, right? And what happens after that? Even though you have done your masters, you start aiming for the entry level roles, wherein the work experience would be less than 1 year or less than 2 year. I would say, if you are immediately going for masters, you can't even aim for the positions which are asking for minimum experience of 2 years also. So that is one main disadvantage that I see personally from the point of view when you think of doing bachelor's immediately after your B.Tech, masters immediately after your B.Tech, right? So the first advantage, if you're planning to work and then pursue your masters, is basically getting hands-on experience, getting your hands dirty and learning things, so that when you do this, you also get a lot of clarity as to what kind of work really fascinates you. Let's say the second point, financial stability. If you are a working individual, you can save up for your higher studies, you can plan your finances accordingly, and eventually you will be able to afford your master's program with your own money, right? Maybe if you're not having that much savings, you can consider taking up a personal loan or an educational loan, and then once you get a job after your masters, you can maybe try to return back the money which you have opted from the bank or from a third party source. So first thing is, you will get practical experience. Second thing, you will get financial stability. And the last point is skill development. Now, working in a professional setting exposes you to real world challenges, allowing you to develop problem solving, teamwork, communication skills that are highly valued by the employers. Now, what happens is, when you are working in an organization, you actually get to see how a corporate world is working. You understand what are the different business communication skills that you should have. You understand how to work in a team. You understand how to plan your day, how to segregate your things so that you can achieve your targets. So all these things you only get to know once you start working in an organization. And if you are planning to pursue masters, again, you will not be exposed to these things. And after your masters, when you are aiming for getting a higher mid-senior level job openings, these are some drawbacks or constraints that you would be facing at that point of time, right? And the last point, clarify career goals. So as I said, when you are a working individual, you understand what is something that really fascinates you. Now let's say if I am working in a prosthetic company, right, and I am maybe involved in the designing of the prosthetics, right? In that way, I understand that I really like working with prosthetics. Now when I am planning to do my masters, when after my first or second semester, when it's the time to take specialization, I would exactly know what is that I want to do, and accordingly I will take my specialization. And then when I finish my masters, I will be having my strong forte on prosthetic as a topic. I'm giving an example, and I would be able to excel in that really well, because that is something that I have learned really in a deeper way. In depth, I have learned everything about it. Second thing, it really fascinates me to work with these kind of things, and that eventually helped me to get into organization and perform there really well, right? So four advantages: practical experience, financial stability, skill development, and more clarified career goals. But on the other hand, there are also some disadvantages. So let's see some disadvantages that maybe I could say is there if you are planning to work for a year and then we pursue your masters. Career progression may be slower. Like without a master's degree, it might take a longer to advance into higher level positions, and I feel it is completely fine. Right now, let's say I am a fresher, right? I have applied to an entry level role, wherein in my same opening a master's guy has also applied. Now when these kind of situation comes in, whoever is performing well, whoever is giving in more inputs and driving in more outputs would be someone who would be getting promoted at a faster pace, right? So I feel your career progression may be slower, but if you have the right skills and if you want you know what you have to do, then your career progression may take a faster pace depending on your performance and the kind of inputs that you're providing in. Second disadvantage, returning to academic study may be challenging, and I would agree to this point, because after you start working, once you start earning money, right, when you start seeing the money, you will have a lot of I would say commitments. A lot of us, when we start earning, we would be getting a lot of things that we want. We would be going for EMIs, and we get caught up with these things. And when these things happen, we are having that limitation that okay, we should be having some income that is coming in so that we can fulfill our EMIs that are ongoing. But on the other hand, even if you, let's say you are not having any EMIs, you are a working professional, you're earning really well, you get out of the comfort zone wherein you are not able to come back, sit in a chair or a table and then study for maybe 2 or 3 hours, right? That becomes a little difficult. So getting back into academics after working for 1 or 2 years is a little difficult, but again, it varies from individual to individual. And now let's see the last disadvantages is missed research opportunities. Now once you join an organization, right, if you are someone who is interested to do research and development, I would not recommend you to work in an organization and then think of masters, right? But if you really know that you want to do research and development, then what you should be doing is aim for masters as soon as you're done with your bachelor's. Otherwise, if you're working professional, you get to work with different organizations. If you're not getting the right kind of projects, company or the team to work with, then eventually it becomes very difficult for you to get into a master's program in the later part of your career, wherein you won't have any good projects, you won't have any good research papers to publish, or you would not have done something that eventually tells that okay, this guy is someone who can do a lot of research and development in this domain. So missed research opportunities is the last disadvantage that I would like to mention. So that's about it, and I believe now you can take more informed decision as to pursuing masters as soon as you're done with your B.Tech would be a better option for you, or planning to maybe work in the industry for maybe 1 or 2 years and then pursuing masters would be something that would eventually help you. So I believe this video was helpful. If so, please press the like button, do share this video with your friends, and do comment your opinions, suggestions and any video requests if you would have, and maybe I will be making the videos for you. Apart from that, if you want to join the WhatsApp community, then the link is in the description. You can join the community channel and you can stay in touch with me over there as well. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, and you can also get in touch with me on Instagram. All the links are there in the description, so maybe you can reach out to me in whatsoever platform you want to. So see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and let's learn and grow together.